Divine Feminines. Now, first out here, I am just astounded. You pulled the exact same cards as the Leo Divine Masculine. Literally identical, all of them. And I've done quite a few readings, at least 3 recordings since the Leo reading. The cards were really shuffled beyond. So this is pretty mind-blowing. I've never seen anything like this ever. I mean, they're in different positions, but they're exactly the same cards. So it may be worth listening to the Leo masculine message as well. It might be pointing to a connection for some of you. This might mean something. Please do comment and let me know. I'm just intrigued. Could be worth considering your moon or rising sign. May have some connection astrologically to why your energies are so identical. Not, I mean, similar in that they're in different positions, but it's still pretty incredible. So let's go straight into the reading. Libra Feminine. At the bottom of the deck, as you can see, I've already shuffled and blessed and laid out the cards. We have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is really about mastering yourself in the realm of love and relationships and your emotions. So this is the sort of general theme of this reading. And underneath that, we have the Three of Cups and the Moon. Interesting. And the Justice card, which is you. You are featuring as well. So this could really mean a variety of things, but there's definitely a theme about facing your shadow, doing specific shadow work that is coming up at this time around love, relationships, and your emotions, some experience that has happened that has triggered you to need to face certain things within yourself. Justice card is also pointing towards potentially a court situation that you're in, if you want to take it literally. But this is really also about closing karmic cycles, that this is about. So this specific healing that needs to take place around a love relationship, or healing specific emotions around that, around potential third energy that was in your relationship, a potential betrayal. But this card can also relate to an integration within yourself of your spiritual higher wisdom with your earthly self, and that third energy that creates. So it doesn't necessarily point to a third person in the relationship, but for some of you that is what it could mean. But I am feeling it's more about closing a karmic cycle with relation to the healing that needs to take place in the regards of mastering yourself and your love, your relationships, your emotions. And through that experience, you are going to bring down a sort of higher wisdom and higher energy, and feel more integrated and balanced within yourself with regards to your purpose and direction in life. And I am seeing here that there is a connection and potential block around that they're definitely connected. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers, just because it is so identical to this other reading. I think it would be powerful to just have a little bit more information on what specifically the messages are about. Obviously, this is a general reading. I've tried to make them more specific by separating the masculine and feminine energies, and it's been really interesting because you can see that they really are different lessons and experiences that the masculine and feminine energies are going through. And it is worth listening to both for your own sign, not just cross-watching for potential love interest or partner or twin flame or soulmate. It is also talking about the masculine and feminine energies within yourself. So it doesn't necessarily represent the male or female as an individual, although it certainly can do. So please do take that in mind when listening to your readings, and do listen to the male or female equivalent energetic wise of your sign, as well as, yeah, moon and rising, always really important as well. So clarifiers, quickly put these down and we'll go into it. So Interesting. Yeah, there's definitely a big story here around a relationship. Soulmate, twin flame. Could be either karmic. Let's see what the cards want you to know. Four of Air, Four of Swords. Yes, again, at the bottom of the deck, this healing theme that's definitely part of the message that's coming through. Healing that you're going through or need to go through at this time in relation to this message. Beautiful. Yeah. Definitely potentially a third energy, but again, not necessarily for all of you. The Tower card, Queen of Wands, beautiful. 9, yeah. You guys are definitely going through something. Anxiety, perhaps not sleeping well, really worried about something. Something's keeping you up at night. But, you know, on the lighter side, 9 is about completion. Whatever this is that you're experiencing is coming to an end, especially with that Justice card that appeared. It really is showing that there's a point of completion here, that you're ready to let go of whatever this is that's troubling you. So in the energy to let go, we have the Seven of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Daughter of Water in this beautiful Vision Quest deck, which relates to the Page of Cups in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. So yes, I feel that there was some sort of new beginning in love that you experienced, sort of early stages of a relationship, or you met someone who came towards you offering love or offering romance, and there was some kind of truth spoken. There was some realization that you came to about this person. Seven of Wands relates to the Chariot, as all the sevens do. So if you can see that this is sort of pointing to, and you have a 7 here as well, there's two 7s here in this reading. So it's definitely about taking action. There was some action taken, some truth revealed, particularly triggered by you being true to yourself and getting to the bottom of something specific around this relationship. And the fact that it's in the energy to let go, I'm feeling that perhaps, you know, this might not have happened yet, but there's this real message here that you need to speak your truth. You need to move forward in a new energy where you're being true to yourself and authentic, in balancing aspects of your relationship perhaps that aren't feeling in balance. There's some kind of moral issue, some ethical issue, something specific that's come up with regards to this person that came into your life, and your sort of desire to get to the bottom of something that you're feeling is taking place there. Perhaps there's a trust issue, there's something that you need to communicate, basically, and that's a real strong message here, that it's time to let go of holding on or holding in or repressing how you're feeling, and to speak your truth about this relationship, this situation. So in the energy to receive, we have the Hierophant. So yes, this is, potentially talking about the society or community that you're in, or specific institutional structures. So this could be, again, about a court case, or something connected to education, or a marriage. Potentially this this person in your life was married, or you found out they were married, or perhaps you're married and there's some kind of realization that's come to light, either for you or for them, someone speaking the truth or someone needing to speak the truth, and that's really what needs to take place now to move forward. About, I'm definitely feeling there's some sort of third energy in this relationship, and this need to step into truth now. So 8 of Wands, there's been some kind of battle, perhaps arguments, or within yourself, battling with yourself with regards to what you know that you deserve in this situation. And that moment, that moment within that experience of insight, of understanding or knowledge about what's really been going on because of this courage that you have to speak your truth or to be true to yourself. So yes, I am seeing, unfortunately, that there is, this heartbreak, this grief that this situation has caused. But I am seeing that within that, in this deck, it's beautifully portrayed with a white dove, and this really is a message of love and of peace. And so, I am seeing that whatever the situation is, we've got the big medicine wheel. So that is definitely pointing towards this closing of a cycle and this huge learning. It's the equivalent of the World card in the traditional deck, and Six of Pentacles. So that's all about balance, giving, and finding yourself in a relationship where there's this equal balance of giving and receiving. So whatever happened in this relationship, you are going to definitely reach a point where you can overcome the grief, and that's going to happen by recognizing that this was a karmic cycle of lessons that you needed to learn, that whatever it was you were experiencing was reflected in the fact that this relationship was not balanced. There was not an equal balance in giving and receiving, and this caused a lot of suffering for one or both of you. But this is, ready to complete this lesson. And although it's feeling very painful right now, I am seeing that you're going to recognize the gifts from this experience, in the sense that, you're going to learn something very valuable moving forward. So in your general environment, we have the Seven of Discs, again related to the Chariot. And this is definitely related to taking action, moving forward, sort of that light at the end of the tunnel, this tall mountain that you've been climbing, the challenges that you've been through and fought through and battled through, and reaching a point of breakthrough, finally getting this moment of insight and understanding that this relationship perhaps wasn't in balance, and this was definitely a soulmate connection, and without question, someone who really had an impact on you, and you were building a foundation with this person, and it was very much a spiritual foundation. So this could potentially be a twin flame or a karmic. It depends. It will be different for each of you, but you will know who this is relating to. But there is this realization when this about this specific person, and this building of a life together. But the reason I'm pointing to twin flame is you've got the Lovers and the Two of Cups. I mean, it could just be a soulmate connection or twin flame. You will know. But combined with the Three of Discs, it does signify some sort of spiritual, these people are building a church specifically. So this is really talking about a mission, a spiritual mission that, when you come together, there's this sense of building a foundation together, building this path together, and walking this path together. But for some of you, there is this ending that's going to take place, and completion. There's some completion in this cycle that's going to come to an end around the soulmate relationship or karmic relationship. And the Ten of Swords, again, completion. With the Nine of Swords, there's this progression from completion to new beginning. But in this deck, the Nine of Swords is showing itself again. There's definitely anxiety and suffering, but this is also about the lessons that you learn and the gifts from the experience and the huge enlightenment and growth and spiritual insights that you receive from whatever this experience was. And I'm really feeling that there's kind of like this tower moment that is like a wake-up call. There's this, sudden realization, or something happens, which causes this relationship to come to an end, or this situation to come to an end, that was very out of balance. There was not a balance of people. Seven of Earth, it was out of balance, and this couldn't continue, and you sort of knew that deep down. And so, something's taken place, some truth has been spoken that has completed the cycle of whatever, of this relationship. Whether that's for you or your partner, or it could be describing the karmic or the third energy, and some kind of breakthrough that happens in that regard. So, for some of you this could be a positive thing, but I am seeing quite a drastic amount of grief and suffering here, but also a cycle of healing that comes from that, and a very deep understanding about yourself, especially because it completes with the Knight of Discs. So that really is about, again, clarified with the Ace of Air, which is the Ace of Swords, which was at the beginning of your reading as well. And this whole message of speaking your truth and stepping into your power with the Queen of Wands, again, representing a fire sign. This could be, again, the connection to the Leo male reading. Please do listen to that. But this is really someone who's mastered themselves, someone who's really stepped into their potential, someone who's moving forward in their authentic self, someone who's speaking their truth. So there is this communication. This is the overall lesson, is to be true to yourself, to step into your power, and to honor who you really are, and not accept any less than that. And I feel that is when this Knight of Discs energy comes in, and this is someone, it could be representing an earth sign, but not necessarily. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But again, it doesn't have to relate to star sign. It could be any star sign. Especially with the overall energy of the King of Cups, I really feel that this represents you mastering your emotions through this lessons. You find balance within yourself. And then this beautiful energy comes in, someone who is slow and steady and reliable, someone you can trust and depend on. And the Knight of Discs, in this particular deck, it's showing the story of Siddhartha Buddha, who, once he has this breakthrough and leaves his home and discovers all this suffering that's happening in the world outside of his safe bubble, and he's never really able to see the world in the same way again. And that's kind of what you're experiencing here. This sort of awakening, this huge shift in perspective. I mean, the Ten of Swords is not, it's similar to the Death card for a reason. There's a real shedding of an old perspective, an old way of being, an old way of accepting love, or, limited in how, the love you believe that you deserve. And that's what really is dying here, this older way of being, thinking, or feeling that no longer serves you, and shedding that. And through that, you reach this new perspective, and you're not really able to ever be, live from that former perspective again. So huge shift and breakthrough here. And it's, strong message here about speaking your truth, and being true to yourself. Wow, Libras, that's a very intense message, and sending you much love in these challenges that I'm feeling here. I'm going to pull a card from the Osho deck, and this will give you the sort of final overview guidance that will complete the reading with such powerful messages to end it with. Which one wants to come through? Change. Definitely going through change, and that's the 10 in the Major Arcana, so that relates to the Wheel of Fortune. So yes, definitely karmic cycles coming to an end, lessons that need to be learned, and completion of wounds, of facing, your shadow work, Basically, that's really the message here, but huge breakthroughs when you do. And let's read the message from Osho. 1 second. Change. Life repeats itself mindlessly. Unless you become mindful, it will go on repeating like a wheel. That's why Buddhists call it the wheel of life and death, the wheel of time. It moves like a wheel. Birth is followed by death, and death is followed by birth. Love is followed by hate, and hate is followed by love. Success is followed by failure, and failure is followed by success. Just see. If you can just watch for a few days, you'll see a pattern emerging, a wheel pattern. One day, a fine morning, you're feeling so good and happy, and another day you are so dull and dead that you start thinking of not wanting to be here anymore. And just the other day, you were so full of life, so blissful that you were feeling thankful to God, that you were in a mood of deep gratefulness. And today, there's a great complaint, and you don't see why one should keep living. But yet it goes on, and you don't see the pattern. Once you see the pattern, you can get out of it. The symbol in this card is an enormous wheel, representing time, fate, and karma. Galaxies spin around this constantly moving circle, and the 12 signs of the zodiac appear on its circumference. Just inside are the 8 trigrams of the I Ching, and even closer to the center of the 4 directions, each illuminated by the energy of lightning. The spinning triangle at this moment pointed upwards towards the divine, and the Chinese symbol of yin and yang, male and female, creative and receptive, lies at the center. It has often been said that the only unchanging thing in the world is change itself. Life is continuously changing, evolving, dying, and being reborn, all opposites playing a part in this vast circular pattern. If you cling to the edge of the wheel, you can get dizzy. Move towards the center of the cyclone and relax, knowing that this too will pass. Beautiful message, Libras. And yeah, there's this definite sense that you're going through some kind of dark night of the soul. Whatever your experience has really triggered your wounds, your unresolved emotions that are not the first. It's not the first time you're experiencing this. I'm really feeling that you've had this experience again and again, perhaps with different relationships, and it's just the same person in a new body. And that's really what karmic cycles are about. And, you know, this is a strong message here that it's time for this to end, for you to learn this lesson, whatever this is, this pattern that you keep repeating. And it's trying to wake you up and bring it to your awareness. And, you know, if you don't, there is going to be this tower moment, and it's gonna fall down because it's not built on a strong foundation. And you know you're better than this, Libra. You know that it's time to shed this this way of being in relationships. And so yeah, this is very much a message of taking the middle path through these challenges. And rather than drowning yourself in the suffering, meditation is very powerful, and it's really just about recentering yourself so that you become the observer of things happening, as that they said, this cycle of death and rebirth. So just that recognition, that observation state of being, where you allow things to come and go, and you sort of externalize your viewpoint so that you can see the broader, bigger picture. And it's a kind of surrendering and just accepting and letting things pass through you rather than holding on, which makes it a lot more painful. So yes, big strength and love to you, Libras. Hold on. This too really shall pass. Much love.